So today I'm going to show you how to build these neat little toolboxes out of a single dog-eared fence board. Hey, welcome back to the wood shop, everybody. I'm Jim Viebrock. Today I'm going to build something really simple. This is just a very simple toolbox. And it reminds me of a story one day when one of my friends, who's a master woodworker, came to see me in my shop, and I was building a batch of these for a client. He says, "Why do you waste your time building 8th grade projects?" And I told him that I was probably making as much money selling this so-called 8th grade project as he was building furniture for custom work. The reason being is I've sold hundreds of these, and we sold them for about $13 a piece at our flea market, and we made them about as fast as I could make them, along with some other things. So if you're one of those folks looking in YouTube to try and figure out how to make money in woodworking, something as simple as this may be your answer. So today I'm going to show you how to build these out of a single dog-eared fence board. So let's get started. Okay, like I said, this is a very simple project. This is a single 6-foot dog-eared fence board that I bought at my favorite box retailer. The reason I'm using a fence board over a 1x6, which measures 5.5 inches, just like this, is that if you go buy a number 2 pine board, it's going to be nearly 2 times or more what this fence board costs. So I'm going to use these simply because of economics. You do what you want to do. If you've got a piece of scrap laying around, it'll look a lot better either way, but that's how I'm going to do this. So to start out is we've got to have 2 sides like this. So I have made these. The pattern for this is on my Facebook page. So if you go there, find the place where I talk about the toolboxes, you'll find a photograph of the pattern. You can print it off and do exactly what I'm going to do. So it's very simple, but this is 5.5 inches tall, 5.5 inches wide by 11.5 inches tall. I'm simply going to square it up with the end down here, and I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to trace it out. Okay, now there's something that's kind of important that you need to remember here, so that all of your pieces stay the same. When you do a duplicate piece like this, you need to leave about 1/8 of an inch between them so that your blade width can be accounted for. If you don't do that, then one piece is going to be a little bit larger than the other. So I'm just going to come down through here and make 2 of these. Okay, so that's what I need with that. The next part I need is going to be the bottom. This is, I do these 15 3/4 of an inch. I do that so that they'll fit in a shipping box. But same thing, I'm going to lay my 15 3/4 of an inch down here. I'm going to leave a space for the blade to put in there. And I'm assuming here that you're making more than one of these, that you're going to try and make this for the money. So this end I'm doing flush with it. This end I'm leaving 1/8 of an inch for the blade. And then I need 2 sides. So these are 17 inches, and I rip them right down the middle. So that makes them 2 3/4 inches wide. So again, I'm leaving a space for my blade. I'm going to make my mark right down through here like this. Leave my space for the blade up on the top. And then just as a reference line, I'm going to put a little line right there just to let me know that this is the side piece. Then you need the handle. So you could actually get 2 handles per piece, but you've got the dog ear to deal with, and this will stick up into that area. So what I do is I'll use this as a line, just as a reference. Okay, and I'm going to, here in just a minute, we'll rip off a piece of scrap out of here, okay, just to line this up so I get up in here. And then I'm going to lay down again, leaving space for the saw blade. And I'm just going to make a mark at how long that would be. Now this one would be 15 3/4 inches, just like the bottom piece is. These sandwich in between the 2 sides, and then the 2 rails, or the 2 side pieces, go all the way out to the edge. So these are 17 inches, these are 15 3/4, 15 3/4, 11.5, all of them being 5.5 minus the ones that we're going to rip. So there's that. I hope you can see that. I'm going to take that over to the compound miter saw, and I'm going to chop all these pieces up. Okay, I came over to my compound miter saw. You can cut these out with whatever kind of saw that you have at your disposal, even a hand saw if that's all you've got. I want to point out that fence boards will almost always have a little tag here that's attached by a staple. Be sure and get that staple out of there. Okay, now that I've got my staple gone, here's my patterns. You can see where I have made room for the blade. So I'm just going to put that blade right down on there and cut it. There's number one. Then I did the same thing where my marks are for my blade. And again, that is all so that those simply end up at the right length, so that none of them are accidentally short. My bottom. There's the sides, and then here's where my top is. Now I'm going to leave this one so I can custom fit it. Okay, this is the most dangerous part we have to do, is cut the bevels on here. You can cut these bevels however you want to. You can even round them off, shape them however you want to. I just, this has actually been patterned off an actual antique handmade toolbox that we had at our flea market at one time. I liked it, so I just used it as a pattern. But I'm just going to cut along here on both sides just to give the toolbox a little bit of character. Okay, now we're going to go over to the table saw and make some more pieces. Okay, the first pieces I want to cut are going to be 2 3/4 inches. So my table saw basics are the same. Now on the 2 3/4 inch pieces, what I actually want to do is rip right down the center of the piece. So if I actually do 2 3/4 inches, then I'm going to have one piece bigger than the other. So what I want to do is set my table saw to where it'll rip on the inside of the 2 3/4 inch mark. So I'll set this up. I'll find my 2 3/4 inch, but I'm going to set the teeth on the inside of that mark instead. So that way, like that, I've got my height set about right. Actually, it's a little tall, so let me bring that down. There we go. And now when I run this through, I should have this equal sized pieces. Okay, I now have 2 equal sized pieces. When I staple these together, I'll put the cut side down so I leave the rough side up. The next thing I want to do is take my saw and I'm going to cut off just enough of this to take off one of the dog ears. So I'm just going to lay this down there since I'm going to have plenty of material. And then I'm going to cut that dog ear off. Always use a push stick, by the way. You want to be safe whenever you're cutting these boards. Now I want to set my table to be 1.5 inches because that's how deep my my handle is. You technically only need 1, but since I have the material, I'll probably cut 2. Now I have all my pieces ready and we can start to assemble this box. Okay, you could just leave that bare if you want to, and just go ahead and assemble it. We're going to assemble these here in a little bit. But my wife takes care of the second phase of this project, and that's where they get customization. So we stain these up and then she'll do what I call dirty them up, make them look old and weathered. And then she'll put a graphic across here with her vinyl cutter. Makes these a really cool decorating piece. A lot of people set them on a table, their kitchen table or whatever, especially with the farmhouse movement now, very popular. They'll put like salt and pepper shakers and ketchup bottles and different things in here. Or sometimes they just put greenery in there for decoration. That's why they're more valuable than just an old toolbox, because these have great home decor value to them today. So if you're going to stain these or paint these, it's really hard to do it after they're assembled. So what I like to do is take care of that ahead of time. So I've got some gray stain here, and I'm just going to simply stain these up ahead of time. Okay, as you can tell, I have pre-stained up a bunch of these. I've made a nice big batch of these, like I like to do. It's a way better idea to stain these or paint these ahead of time. Once you start putting these together, these little nooks and crannies are hard to get to. I don't think I mentioned, but these are actually cedar fence boards. You don't want to use the CCA or the pressure treated boards if you're using these for home decor. You don't want those chemicals in your house. You sure don't want them on your kitchen table. So what you want to do is just take your boards. They're going to line up really easy because they all came from the same board. So you're just going to put them in here nice and flush and start to staple them together. Now, if you like videos like these, do me a favor and hit like on this video and subscribe. And let me remind you that the pattern for this project is on my Facebook page, and you'll find the link to that in the description of this video. You may also want to visit my wife's page. She has Whistle Stop Custom Creations, and see the projects that she works on as well. That link will also be in the description of this video. If you have friends that like this type of thing, please have them come and subscribe to this video channel as well. This is one of several videos that are in my arts and crafts series. So there's going to be lots of things like this that you can build in a home shop that doesn't have very expensive tools. If you have suggestions on something that you'd like to see me build, you can give me that suggestion too through my Facebook page. And what's going to happen now is these are going to go to my wife, where she's going to dirty them up. She's going to take different colored paints and dilute them down with water and different stuff. She'll probably use a white on here, scuff a little white on here, and then scuff a little black on here, maybe brown. And it gives it the look like it's been out in the field working for a long time. Then she's going to take her silhouette machine, her vinyl cutter, and she's going to put some kind of logo on here that'll say like farmhouse or groceries or something like that. There are just countless examples of what she's done over on her Facebook page, and it makes for a really cool project. Guys, I just want to thank you for watching, and like I said, go and subscribe to my video and check out our Facebook pages. Thanks for watching.